Yeah, take a nice deep breath.
Yeah, centering my chi slowly.
Well, the movie is over.
I guess so. I feel like it's going to sit with me for the rest of my life, so thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Well, you did thank me. Well, no, actually, no. After the movie, you said something about, like, you know, I'm a good friend of yours.
I said I'm glad that you're a good person because I probably hate you.
If someone else subjected you to this torture.
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Wow. All right. Well, tonight's movie is from the title Theodore Rex from 1995.
Theodore Rex is the death of me.
Tick-tock.
Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
tick,
For those of you who don't
tick,
know, we
tick.
use a metronome before we start the show just to count us in.
Always be fancy.
And that ticking clock just symbolizes, the days in our lives that are just slowly disappearing and melting away because we're watching garbage like this.
Wow, that was pretty deep, AC. I want to calm down there.
I'll try, but you know what? As you said, I'm AC,
This is Scrooge.
and these are...
Real bad movies.
You okay?
No.
Why not?
This is your fault. You know what? This is actually Family Video's fault.
Family Video, huh? All right,
Yeah.
let's describe to our listeners out there how I got my hands in this copy. Well,
Yeah.
Family Video was going out of business, and I don't think it was
Sadly,
because they were renting out movies like this. Might have been one of the
you don't
reasons.
think so?
It's
You don't
one
think
of the
people were like
reasons.
lining up? They're like, lines down the street to get that one faded copy of one Theodore Rex.
Yeah, that's a great thing of it. The DVD that I did buy from Family Video, the front cover is incredibly faded out, and they used to do that in rental stores because they would put the DVDs right up on the front. They would have all the racks and everything, and the sun would just be shining in, and all those even libraries do that. A lot of library books have the same thing.
Yeah, faded.
But it's right here. And what's perfect about this is the fact that it is faded. It just kind of really symbolizes this movie in general. Let me read the front cover. The world's toughest cop is getting a brand new partner, and he's a real blast from the past.
I wish I had a gun. That's all I wish I had a gun so I could shoot myself right now. Oh my God.
All right.
This
Well,
movie.
let me just read. We don't really read the back of
No,
DVD
because
covers.
think about it. This is probably one of the first movies we've seen that we've had a DVD cover for.
Besides Missing in Action.
Yeah, I was gonna say Missing in Action, probably the only one I can think of. So besides that, it's been mostly just streaming sites and everything online. So this is actually a welcomed.
Let me
change.
think. Wait. So, yeah, Missing in Action and Godzilla were the other two that I think.
Oh wait, Miami Connection, because I have that
You
Blu-ray.
do, and
Samurai Cop.
of course, Samurai Cop, which
So, okay.
fans have not heard yet, but you will hear. It's
Yes,
it's an extra episode, and we'll redo it and have a special episode coming up on that. But yeah, I honestly love physical media because one great thing about physical media is you've got just the classic slogan on the front as well as the usually crappy written synopsis on the back as well. This movie, I thought this movie was made by Disney, but I guess it's not. It's New Line Entertainment.
If that was made by Disney, that I totally would bet them like destroying it and not even mentioning it ever again in their lives.
Probably not going to be on Disney Plus. All right. Academy Award winner Whoopi Goldberg is the perfect comic partner, I guess comedy, same thing, in this hilarious, futuristic, which we will mention throughout this entire podcast. There's a lot of
Sure.
future in this.
So much future.
Family comedy.
Yeah.
Don't know about that. About a cop and a dinosaur on a mission to save the world. Whoopi, parentheses, Rat Race. Have you seen that movie?
No,
I've seen that.
I've seen nothing with Whoopi Goldberg. I know of movies she's been in, but I
didn't even
Oh wait, I'm sorry, Sister Act. Hold on, I can't.
Yeah, and Ghost. You're talking
Okay.
about Ghost.
I've actually never fully seen Ghost. I
But,
just
yeah,
know enough
Sister
about
Act.
it. But Sister Act for sure, I've seen 1 and 2.
Well, Rat Race I've seen, but I don't remember Whoopi in it. It has, I think it's Seth Green and,
oh God,
God, who's the other person in
it's
that?
just a dream
Just
team right there, baby.
Forgettable faces. Oh, Mr. Bean is in that movie.
Oh,
Roman Atkinson. Atkinson.
Atkinson.
Atkinson.
I just watched a video of him saying his own name, and I don't remember. Whatever, Mr.
Whatever.
Bean.
Yeah,
So,
he's in that movie as well, and we're gonna keep kind of like not talking about the movie as much as we can. So
Yeah, you're gonna see this very very sly technique of, oh hey, let's talk about something more interesting, and then slowly bring it back to what we're actually supposed to be discussing. So
Karina, I've never heard about that before, and Ghost as well. What? So Whoopi, these are the films that Whoopi was in.
Karina.
I have no clue. Whoopi stars as a smooth-talking.
No,
not really.
Definitely not at all.
Take care of business cop.
Kind of. Well, they tried, but they were trying to act like she was, but there was there was nothing to do or explained enough to be able to get any of this off.
We didn't know anything about her. We don't know
not a single thing. She
nothing.
Just walked one way the entire movie.
Yep.
That was it.
So let me just re-talk about that. Whoopi stars as a smooth-talking, take-care of business cop on the rise, but when she teams up on a high-profile case with a Tyrannosaurus Rex named Teddy. They don't really say Theodore in this movie. I guess his real name is Theodore, but they say Teddy.
They just keep saying Teddy.
She blows her cool. The bumbling, three-toed dinosaur can't even find his own tail, much less a clue, and although he's cute in a lizardly sort of way...
No.
His eyes are fucking terrible.
Slight, yeah. No.
She thinks he's only good for fossil fuel. She kind of does, yeah. Cloned,
don't you agree with that?
Listen to this. Cloned, conned, and about to get canned. The dynamic duo may just solve the most colossal crime caper in history.
No, definitely not.
No.
Oh my God. Okay,
wow.
So where the fuck we even begin on this?
Well... we were talking about the trivia in this movie and about how the production of this film was an absolute wreck.
Yep.
Let's
start with how she even got it to be involved in this movie.
Whoopi Goldberg, I guess, got sued by the producer, who also produced, I saw, Pee-wee's Playhouse movies. I forgot what they're called. Pee-wee's Big Adventure and whatever the other one was.
Oh boy.
And I guess she made a verbal agreement, but that's pretty much like she's saying, like, yeah, I'd be in that movie, maybe being sarcastic, just kind of joking about it if somebody brings it up. Like a producer's like, oh, you should be in this movie. Like, yeah, I'll be in that movie. And then she laughs. And then he's like, no, you're actually going to do this movie. And she's like, no. And then gets sued.
See, we can talk about that. I don't understand that because I don't think that, how are you legally able to sue somebody on a verbal agreement?
Verbal agreement,
like,
that makes no sense.
Because that's what they always talk about. Get it in writing.
Yeah.
I mean, God, if I could just say, hey, man, this guy just agreed to give me $5 million, and
then take him to
court for it. Like, I'd love to know some more specifics about that case because I don't understand how exactly he roped her into saying yeah, or she just said yes as a joke, whatever the case is. And then he was just like, oh, yeah, I'm taking you to court. Like, I don't understand how that even works because most of the time that's got to be written,
concrete,
something.
Real.
Like most of the time when you hear about actors having to absolutely star in something they refuse to do and they end up having to do it is because of contractual obligations.
Oh, of course. Like, it's written in their contract.
They literally in their contract.
Yeah.
And that's something they can't get out of. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's what they signed to. This doesn't make any sense.
No.
Except for the fact that my boy is definitely the slick oil salesman because could you imagine that it literally she's probably just talking to some dumbass at a party and it's like, yeah, I got this idea for this, I got this dinosaur and
that's probably what it was. Like,
he's gonna be a detective in the future and you could be his partner. She's like, shit, that's funny.
There must have been drugs involved in this. There
were drugs. There's drugs involved with making this movie, I swear to God.
Well, both parties, I feel like, are guilty. I feel like the guy who came up with this idea is incredibly guilty, and the producer, as well as Whoopi Goldberg for being around these people who are making this film. But
then you said that she got $2 million more.
So
they finally agreed.
She made $7 million from this movie, and you said it was a $33 million movie, correct?
Yeah, that's what I checked. It's a 33.5 budget.
So this movie was made for a theatrical release, and it was never released in theaters. Go figure. It wasn't received well by the test audiences, so it went straight.
The adult test audience. I was reading it too.
Older adult. Or what was it? Older.
Hello.
Adele?
You say Adele?
I just mixed
Hello?
older and elder in the same sentence, the same word. Well, no. Like what I'm saying is like for some reason they used older people as the test subjects for this film. I guess old people do watch kids movies. I have heard of that before.
Good, dude. I watch. I mean, of course, I'm a childish man, but I love if it's good. I still watch cartoons and cartoon movies. I mean, that's part of my repertoire of movies, man.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about older, like 60s, 70s.
We just said adults. It didn't actually specify.
It said elder.
It said elder.
Yeah. And
I don't know, because it depends. I don't know what the hell they're actually going for. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think you and I, if we want to, we can, since we're trying to find interesting things to talk about, the idea of the movie of like besides just people doing a bunch of coke. I think as we were talking as the movie was on about that weird place in the 90s where you had Jurassic Park just came out a couple of years earlier. And then you got those weird, quirky, futuristic dramas that have popped out in the 90s, like Demolition Man, Dread, a couple with Stallone, and some other weird, that featured that, futuristic, dystopian, like weird, alternate, future where
90s were all about the future. I feel like
there's a lot of weird. Oh, even movies like the Crow, and a bunch of other weird like like even if they weren't futuristic, they were just like these weird, otherworldly. Yeah. So I think that was just part of like this aesthetic of the 90s for some reason. So I think we were just caught up in that, and I don't know what the hell they were trying to do with this movie though.
No, I don't know either.
We talked about. I feel like this was a full adaptation of the one scene from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where I forgot if it's
Johnny Depp's tripping.
If it's Depp's character or Del Toro's character tripping just balls. Was it?
It was so before they get to Vegas, Johnny Depp took like a fucking giant hit of acid or something like that, and then when they get to that hotel and they're checking into their hotel and he's just waiting there and like I don't know what it is, like some kind of cafe or something, and then everyone starts turning into lizards and shit like that.
Yeah. So this literally felt like an adaptation of that scene from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and I guess, but except for kids, I guess.
For kids, because
still never felt like it. The entire movie I watched when I was watching, I'm thinking to myself, I would not have liked this as a kid. I know what I liked as a kid. I liked a lot of dumb dinosaur stuff, but this is definitely not one of them.
No, and that's what I was saying is that this was supposed to be a theatrical release in theaters, whereas it became a straight-to-video. And thank God it was a straight-to-video. This would have bombed so bad.
Oh, my God, yeah.
But I feel like some reason this probably sold well. Not even joking. I feel like because the weird straight-to-video home market was always so odd. There was a bunch of random weird 90s movies that were similar to this.
I guess. I don't know.
At the time, but, there's a lot of just dinosaur-related movies in general in the 90s. It was even after, like, Land Before Time was big. Do you remember that movie as well? Like, that was more animated and stuff.
That was animated, and that was actually good.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of those. That was my childhood right there.
There was the Dinosaurs television show. Have you ever heard of that before? It was like the same animatronics.
That's actually what I was thinking. That's what that was.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting there, I'm like, this reminds me of something. What else does it remind me of?
Not the movie Dinosaur, because there is a movie called Dinosaur. Have you ever heard of that as well? From the late 90s?
Probably.
It's kind of like, let me show you a picture real quick of it. But I think it was 1990. Oh, God, what was it? It was God, let me find it. Everybody stand by. See, every time I look up dinosaur movie, it just takes me to Jurassic Park. Yes, here it is. It came out in 2000, my bad. It was a Disney movie.
Was it animation?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because I had
But it wasn't, it was like CGI.
No, I remember CGI. Yes, because I had those dumbass McDonald's toys.
Yes.
I still have them somewhere in my basement.
Yes, so
along with the hookers.
Okay, so that was 2000. This was 95, but still, I feel like for that 10-year period after 1993 with Jurassic Park, like those 10 years is just all dinosaur related content.
Listen, that movie made like I think it was
a lot of money.
It was anywhere between $700 and $900 million worldwide in 1993. Which like now movies, Marvel movies where they're making $1 billion pretty much each one. But that was 7 to 8. So it was either 7. It was anywhere between $700 and $900 million worldwide back in '93. So it's like they were like cha-ching. I guess as long as we slap dinosaur on something, that'd be good enough. So whatever. they did a bunch of coke, came up with this idea.
Yeah.
They suckered Whoopi Goldberg to be in it.
And she hated this film. She hated working during it, of course. It was said that by the end of the production, she said 99% of the film crew was different from the first day.
That's
so
hilarious.
everybody left.
That's
She wanted
hilarious.
to leave halfway through this thing as well. And you could see it on her face throughout half the movie.
I thought she actually, honestly, she handled it pretty well for the fact that
She
just
did.
Unbridled hatred, because I've seen actors who literally look like they do not want to be there in every single scene they're in.
Yeah.
She at least did something. Like, we know how she felt, but like, I actually admire how she actually did something, not like just literally looking like she wanted to kill herself in every
I think
scene.
she was thinking of that $7 million at the end of the day because
Well,
she was
yeah.
only going to get paid $5 million, and $7.
Oh man, $5 million! Could you imagine the absolute injustice of just paying $5 million to stand next to a dumbass animatronic
I'd do it.
T-Rex costume?
I would do it 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make $5 million or
Well,
$7 million.
You have to sit
my
here for an
lifetime.
hour and a half and listen to me, so you're fine.
Yeah. Well, let's start it out. Okay. First of all, there's a user review that I just want to read real quick.
Please go for it.
This is great. Make terrorists watch this. They'll talk just to make it stop.
That is one of my
That's
go-to.
the only title.
That's one of my go-to insults for a bad movie. I love that.
Theodore Rex. I'm just gonna read all the titles on these. They're great. Jurassic Dork. Blows hardcore chunks.
Blows hardcore chunks.
Crack is bad for you.
Yes. Crack is whack.
A mismarketed movie with a horrible premise. You want to describe the whole mismarketed thing?
Yeah. So the director, thanks to trivia at IMDb, was like, the director never did a movie after it and was very upset with the movie because the movie's release and how it all turned out, because he said that the studio did not market the movie properly. That was the problem. He said that the studio did not market the film properly, and that's why it was so poorly received and poorly went over, and that's why he never made another film again.
That is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
That's when that's that lying to yourself to make everything feel good.
Yeah.
And because as he's sitting in his office, slowly cracking open another bottle of Jack Daniels, pouring into the glass.
Oh, yeah.
As he's thinking about his ex-wife is gonna divorce him for all of his money, and his kids are leaving, and he looks over at the dusty shelf, and there's the copy of the one movie he made, Theodore Rex. He's thinking to himself, "It's a stupid studio."
Yeah, his jacket that he was wearing throughout the whole production had a hidden little pocket that had a flask in it. You know, that whole movie he was drunk making this film.
It's probably that, or one of those sports helmets that have the tubes running down. Yeah, he just probably had that in between.
Well, it's a kids
takes.
movie, so you can't make
right,
it. It's
it
got to
would
be
say,
private.
It would say juice.
Oh,
you know?
Dino Juice.
Yeah,
right?
Dino Juice.
Wow. Okay, let's get into this movie because I really want to just get this over with. Just like how we watched the film and how we went into it. There is no synopsis on this. Thanks, IMDb. That's great. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to
raw dog it, baby.
We're gonna have to remember this.
I can do my best because it's pretty easy to just remember this piece of shit.
All right, yeah, they only have a plot here, so I guess we'll just go in from the beginning. Well, the intro scene, like I told you, there's a scroll for some reason.
For no reason.
And the weird thing about this scroll that you don't normally get with scrolls and titles in the beginning of a film, it is bulleted for some reason.
It has bullet points.
And they're like paragraphs per each bullet, which makes no sense to me. If you're going to do it, just put like Star Wars, put it all in just one long text, put it all together.
Any movie that has any kind of opening scroll, I don't think in my entire life has ever had a bulletin point.
Yep.
I've never
seen that. So I guess
did they just I almost wonder if they literally, because I don't even know how the process is of putting it in the film in those days. But it almost makes me wonder if they just slapped their sheet, like their concept sheet of what was gonna say, in the original pre-production, and had bulletins because they're like, oh yeah,
they're making up ideas.
We'll put this, and then they just we don't have time. They just slapped it. They just slapped it right into the movie, right as is.
Yeah, and we're not gonna talk about the content because I don't even remember one thing that the scroll said.
It just said something about
dinosaurs going extinct or something.
Yeah, dinosaurs they extinct, but it's the future, so we bring them back and they're alive again. So
that's all I remember. Yeah. And so we cut from there to this weird shot of they say a carnival graveyard. I think is the term.
They kept saying Carnival Graveyard.
Which I told you, and I said before this film started, that I give it credit. They're, like you said, the pioneering spirit of the 1990s.
Yeah, it's
where
there.
We're making cool sets. We're doing everything.
Uh-huh.
You know, we're putting time into the background. We're making things look cool. There's moody lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Great job with that. And you get this whole intro scene of this dude. What is his name? Edge.
The Edge.
So Edge is pretty much going through a graveyard.
Not the wrestler, The Edge.
Oh, there is a wrestler called The Edge?
No, I'm making a joke. Well, there's a guitarist
well, I don't
named
know.
there's a guitarist named The Edge from U2, but there's a wrestler named Edge from the WWE. Used to be WWF.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. There's actually
yes.
a... Oh, okay.
You know that?
No,
His name is Edge. Yes, that's immediately what I thought it was Edge. I swear to God, I hope he didn't get his name Edge from this movie, because then I'd lose a lot of respect for him.
Do you
Anyways,
know when he started wrestling?
Yeah, the late 90s.
Uh-oh, hold on. I just looked him up. Let's see.
Adam Copeland, I think is his real name.
1997.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
I
Maybe
swear to
this
God, please don't tell me
influenced
there's
him.
an interview out there and he's like, yeah, so I was watching this really crappy movie called Theodore Rex and this guy was named Edge in it. So I was like, oh, that's a good name for a wrestler. Edge. Oh, God,
Oh,
no.
no. Yeah, so...
No.
Yeah,
Anyways, so
yeah,
there's a guy named Edge.
And he's walking through this graveyard, and he's hunting down this dinosaur, who we find out his name is Oliver Rex, I think, or something like that.
You know what they say about guys named Edge?
Huh.
They're a real sharp guy.
Wow. I thought you were going to make
Thank
an
you.
edging joke, or like an... You know what edging is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, or like an edgelord joke or something.
I mean, if you're going to do that, I mean, that's up to you, man. I mean,
this film already has some sexual innuendos, which we will
some
get to.
really creepy. Yeah, so Edgemeister, he murders this dinosaur that's just hanging out in this carnival graveyard by blowing up a butterfly in its face.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's just like a CGI butterfly that just
blows up in their face.
comes out. And then
Immediately, it's a dream.
Teddy wakes up.
It's old Teddy.
Because we find out that Teddy can feel... Dinosaurs can feel each other. And
Yes.
so
in
like...
non-sexual ways.
Yeah, in which they use... Yeah, non-sexual. The air quotes, non-sexual, because there is a lot of non-sexual references throughout this movie. And so he wakes up after feeling Oliver Rex in his dream. He gets his day started. I think he gets a phone call. He gets a voice message on his answering machine, I guess, by somebody who works there, and they keep saying "yeah." Remember?
Yeah, no, he gets the dream. He wakes up, and now it's his daily routine. And now he calls the police station, whatever, and whoever the idiot who keeps answering the phone throughout the entire movie. The operator keeps answering. She goes, "Yeah, yeah."
It's
and
like
not once. She keeps saying, she goes, "Yeah."
Well, like I said,
Yeah.
it's like Bugs Bunny. It's like, yeah, what's up, Doc? You know.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
So that person, yeah, we'll come back to that because that's a very prominent figure in this movie as well. So he's getting his day-to-day life started. Everything's happening. No, you know what I didn't see in this intro scene that I was surprised? No things of him brushing his teeth. Because, the classic daily routine. Really?
Yeah.
There is a brushing teeth?
I think you just tuned out. Yeah, he went from, he did his, remember his showering where his giant ass tail is just flopping out of the shower.
That's the part I remember the most,
yeah,
yes.
He's just flopping out of the shower, so the water's going everywhere.
So it's just,
And
like I said, it's going into the floor. It's
Yep,
rotting
everywhere.
the entire foundation.
Because anybody who's ever taken a shower knows you leave it closed so the water doesn't go gushing out everywhere.
And when it does, it creates black mold and a
Yeah.
bunch of other things.
So his tail is literally just whapping water everywhere outside of the shower. Then he puts on his clothes and he starts going through his routine and he has a toothbrush and he talks about, oh, now time for a little toothbrush, and he goes,
Yep.
I guess you must have missed that. And then
I don't remember that at all.
weren't
I was
paying
waiting
attention?
for it. We were talking a little bit in the beginning.
Oh, so you're gonna blame me on that, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna blame my subconscious ignorance towards this film. But
That's
go ahead,
crazy.
keep going.
He's going through his routine. We find out that he has a dog, which is funny because, like you mentioned, I don't know how that dog wasn't utterly terrified in an acting sense by this giant. Weird animatronic-looking dinosaur. I mean, it freaks me. Everything I need to know about this movie was in the beginning scene, which was I'm all for practical effects, but this dinosaur costume thing, Abomination, is just freaky. It's that twitch. Like I was telling AC, I think the dinosaur's on crack or he's on coke because he's literally going. You can't see my face, but he's doing the. His eyes are constantly opening and closing, and he's going.
That was a weird thing about puppetry, though. I feel like in the '90s, and especially the '80s, when it all started, like with E.T. At least E.T. looks like an actual functioning puppet.
Well, yeah, depends on the movie. Like, look at the I don't know if you've ever seen the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
Yes, of course.
Like the first two were actually pretty good.
They look
but they
great,
still
yeah.
had the kind of like the lip thing.
The lip thing,
because the lip thing was always been
yeah,
difficult for a lot of different animatronics because you're trying to get that more realistic, lip quiver with a lot of different animals and stuff. But it ends up some better results than others. But this one for sure.
And that was 5 years before this, and they were doing better. Because I remember in that movie as well, one thing I noticed as a kid, and I rewatched it recently, them talking, I know that like when they talk, it's all ADR. It's all done after the movie's over.
Yeah.
It's all post-production and stuff like that. But it matches the lips. It looks right. There's a lot of moments in this movie where his what he's saying is not matching his lips at all.
No, it's just literally the mouth moving and just the weird ass, just the physicality of whoever. I mean, God bless this person's soul, whoever had to deal with any of this. But it was like a kid on crack, both in and out of the suit, both the voice acting and the physical acting. And just from the beginning scene, I'm like, well, this is all gonna go downhill from here. So he has a dog. Dog isn't terrified of him, and he loves cookies.
Yes, macadamian.
Macadamian cookies.
Which I think he calls it macadamia.
I get
like no N on it, just macadamia.
That's whatever. He is a machine that makes it for him. He made sure to shoot one to himself before he left for his day.
His apartment's huge. Like his apartment's like the size of your house. Honestly.
Which again, when we're talking about some good things, legitimately, as we talked about, I'm impressed by the 90s and just in general, but the 90s had a good like costume and design and production is what I meant. Production of a lot of these films are actually amazing. The set designs, the costumes, the special effects, all that really, cool physical, like there's actually a world that people can step into as an actor, which I think is totally dope. Movies that are absolutely shitty from the 90s, like was one time I caught Dredd. I don't know if you've ever seen Judge Dredd.
I've heard of it.
With Stallone. It's really awful.
Yeah.
But everything that had nothing to do with like actual like good writing, acting, and characters, everything else was totally cool. Like the world they created, in their film was really cool. It's the same thing in this where it's not as good as those other ones, but it's still kind of cool in the sense of from aesthetic point of how you've got like this weird cartoonish kind of like world and stuff.
Yeah.
And even in his room, man, that's still kind of cool. That means that that's a lot of work people put into building
in the
sets,
background.
all this stuff, all this work. I mean, like even when he was getting ready, he had a ring, he had all this stuff to put on. Like people have to make all that physically, or they did have to make all that physically.
Well, there's a couple like mirror shots. There's mirror shots in this movie too, where he's like looking in the mirror and stuff like that, and like it's camera tricks and stuff are kind of cool. And that's what I feel like. Like in the beginning of this movie is where all the good crew that got hired were there. And then you can tell progressively as the movie goes on. And I felt that the first time watching it, the more that it goes on throughout the movie, that it just slowly just dies out and like it just gets worse over time.
Yeah.
But I do remember one thing from the beginning when he's getting ready. He's looking at that poster on the wall, the Dino Detective poster.
Yeah.
Because this is like his dream.
Yes.
His aspiration is to be a detective. A dino detective.
A dino detective, yes.
Which they'll remind you many times in this movie. He is a dino.
So feeling this vision non-sexually, he goes to the scene of the crime where he stumbles around the crime scene, getting information from fellow police that are there, which I never explained. Like he
does, but the thing is though, like while he's doing that, at the same time, that is when Whoopi Goldberg is introduced as well, because Whoopi gets introduced before it even happens.
Right, yeah.
It's basically this big truck driving down. It's so like classic Goonie henchmen basically are in a giant truck. She breaks in through the ceiling.
Right. Yeah.
The glass ceiling of this truck that has like classic like toxic waste barrels and everything on it, fighting all the henchmen.
Yeah.
And then we encounter that one dude with the most annoying voice ever in a motion cinema picture, and I forgot his name. Do you remember his name?
No.
You've got the IMDb right there.
I do, but you said, do I remember his name? Hell no.
Listen, folks at home, we're going to be really struggling during this podcast, so please stay with us while we are
Spinner
figuring it out. Yes, Spinner.
Spinner.
Which I don't even remember them using the word Spinner in the movie.
I don't. I just remember he was just the weird one-eye guy.
So yeah, he's got like one weird eye, and he's got like a kind of like basically if you took a bottle and you broke the end off like a glass bottle and then stuck it in his eye, he kind of had that like.
Yeah, that dumbass look.
It looked like he had like a cyborg robot eye or something like that. But
yeah, these names, all the villain names, are just so generically.
I don't really understand it completely. Nothing's really explained.
No,
at this
because
point.
that's what I'm saying. It's like so they introduce Whoopi's character. It's just a stereotypical cop bullshit of, hey, there's a crime, stopping the crime, and then she banters back and forth between her and her, I guess, current partner or whatever, which is stupid.
Yeah.
And then the truck blows up. Remember? The truck blows up
does.
as they're standing there, which I guess because just explosions.
Yep.
And
they were like ducking down while all the explosions happening, but see this part right here makes no sense. But actually, what makes sense is the whole Teddy timeline to me, because it's like, okay, he's getting up.
The
Teddy timeline, because he's getting up, right? He's getting up. He gets called by that person, basically saying, hey, you got to go to this carnival graveyard because there's a dinosaur was murdered, and then that happens.
Okay.
Why didn't they just cut from when he woke up to the daily routine to him actually going to the place? Because we get this like weird introduction to Whoopi that really doesn't give us anything at all. It just shows that she can't work with anybody. She's not, she's not a good cop.
Can't work. Well, that's the thing is that to me they never explain who the police are. Like, okay, there's a police. Yes, I get that. I get that basic, but like, there's an obviously different because they're talking about some weird ass stuff about grid police. And we're off the grid, and they're wearing this weird, tight ass leather suits.
Yeah,
they don't explain any
uniforms. There's no uniforms, I guess, for these police. Yeah, grid police. I think
they say grid. Like, don't explain it. Like, you have no extra, just grid police. And like I said, I know obviously you think in other action movies you think here come the police. You don't say what kind, and you want to get more. But like when you're talking about a futuristic movie, most of the time you gotta explain because most of the time in a future movie, because I don't know how much sci-fi you watch. I think we had this discussion before, but like a good amount of sci-fi movies, the police are usually a big aspect of the story, but they've got a special either special titles, special occupations, or like what their job is supposed to be. Like a couple of good science fiction ones that I like are like Blade Runner, which. Term Blade Runner is supposed to be a cop that retires the out of control replicants or robots. Minority Report with Tom Cruise. That police like they have more functions, or they have more backstory to explain than just they're cops. Like, because it's the future. It's like they're not just regular cops or future cops. So there's got to be future in some way. So this literally is just they're the cops, but they grid cops. They don't explain anything.
Wait, so you're saying this is lazy screenwriting? Is that what you're saying?
You have no right to be talking to me like this, because I have to say that to you all the time when you're like, but for argument's sake, I want to forgive them.
No, there's no argument's sake here. I'm with you 100%.
Okay.
Because we are at Real Bad Movies. We are a pro future police podcast. We support the future police.
100%.
100%. Because they could always come back in time and
kill us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we always support.
We definitely
them.
support them. We have our bumper stickers. But we vote.
Yes, but the number one thing though is for our future police is just have some kind of distinction. Like you said, she has this skin tight leather suit. The other cop that she's with doesn't have leather suit. Looks completely different.
Yeah,
he looks like an office worker. It's like.
Oh, remember you also AC made a funny joke of it. She's got like this weird light up cross looking thing on her lapel, and it looks like the Walmart greeter.
Literally does. It's like it's just gold specks and kind of like in a circle star formation.
But they're all they're a space between each other, so it looks like a freaking Walmart.
The
greeter.
Walmart, yep, like the light bulb thing or what. I don't even know what it's called. The logo, the greeter logo, but
it's a sign of poverty.
Yeah, it's bad. So
we get through that. Teddy gets the crime scene of the dino side, if you will.
Yeah, not homicide in this movie.
Homicide.
No, because these aren't humans.
No.
Dino side.
Which AC points out is hammered into multiple times in some kind of weird ass like racist kind of like vibe to it. Of
Yeah,
like,
we'll get into that. We'll get in. Well, my thing during this scene, so Teddy goes to see. First of all, I didn't even know if Teddy was an actual legit detective. I thought he was just some guy that they're kind of letting like. Have you seen Shutter Island?
No,
Very similar.
not fully, but
I don't want to spoil
it's
it. Then
DiCaprio.
I don't want to spoil it. Then
Scorsese. Well, how about this again? I think it's because you checked out at the beginning when he was suiting up with his rings and stuff. He had a badge right on his desk.
Yes, yeah.
So he grabbed it.
But like, I didn't think he was a legit actual cop, or like not like. You know how there's ranks within a police department?
Yeah.
I thought he was like, and I think he is like the lowest of the low. But why is he?
What do you mean lowest? I mean, pretty much as soon as you come out of the academy, you're a cop.
It's a cop, but it's like a patrol cop.
That's still a cop.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But this is...
Yeah, but you said... Hold on. I just wanted so we have this clear. You think that the lowest form of a cop isn't a cop?
No, like in the ranks of movie cops, I'm saying
cops.
Because you have like him going to this place. He should be a detective, correct? If he's going to a scene of a crime after the scene of the crime was already discovered.
You mean is he a legit detective? Because
yes,
anyone who comes out of the academy is a cop. You said I don't know if he was actually a cop. He is anyone who comes out of the academy.
I messed up that thing. What I'm saying,
you meant detective.
What I'm saying is like, I know he's like a cop, but I know like, well, part of me actually didn't even know if he was an actual cop, because like I was gonna say with the Shutter Island thing, people, if you want to know the end of Shutter Island, don't. I won't spoil it completely,
Please
but I'll say
don't.
But essentially, I thought it was all in his head that he was a cop. Like that was my whole premise. Was that?
So you're gonna ruin this?
No.
God.
No, I'm just saying that Theodore Rex himself was kind of playing this part, because we find out later in the movie that he was a clone, he was a creation, and stuff like that. And then, you create a dinosaur and you're like, okay, you go ahead and pretend you're a cop, and, cops will go along with it, kind of.
Yeah.
Anyways, and he shows up to this crime scene, and what happens after a crime scene? So the first people who are usually at a crime scene are usually police, as well as ambulance and all that kind of stuff. But then the classic movie trope, the detectives come in, and they kind of check the crime scene. Right. Why is Teddy there if he's not actually a detective?
Well, again, because I would say then, depending, he's also cops. As long as there's in their jurisdiction, they can show up. I mean, it's not like if they're a civilian, they're not allowed to be involved with it. But if they're
we're talking about humans, that's humans. I'm talking about a fucking dinosaur,
right? But in this movie, they're supposed to be living with dinosaurs that talk. So he's supposed to be a cop.
And why are there no other dinosaurs on the police?
He's a special case, I guess.
Regiment. Okay. Anyways,
right? I mean, listen, you subjected me to this bullshit, so I was paying attention. He was a cop to begin with. He always wanted to be a detective, which is different from being a detective.
100%.
Right. Being a detective is someone different than being a cop.
But it's a weird thing, because it's like, one, there's no other dinosaurs in this. Maybe there has to be.
Right, so he's the only one.
So he's the only one.
Yeah.
Okay. But then we later, like I said, we find out that he's a creation.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're gonna create a dinosaur, why the hell, one, would you teach it English, and two, make it a cop? That's like my whole mindset.
But then, okay, I would agree with you if he was the only dinosaur in the movie. But you have like 40 other dinosaurs that all talk and they sing and do a bunch of other stuff.
But are they cops?
They're not.
No, they're not.
But he has one. He is the one cop, probably because there are crimes involving dinosaurs. Because if dinosaurs are intelligent in this world, then they're obviously probably going to need to be police, because they're intelligent enough to commit crimes.
No, 100%. But maybe work your way up. Maybe start him out as like a fast food worker. He can work at McDonald's or something like that.
We don't know. Listen, that's the beauty of this movie. We don't know a fucking thing.
They leave it up to us to figure out,
like more than just a normal audience. Hey, fill in the blanks. They're literally saying, hey, we didn't write anything, so fill all this in.
So you do it yourself.
So that's where we at.
After Theodore Rex, our man Teddy, goes to this crime scene. And what was funny is during this crime scene that we were watching, I accidentally, remember that? I hit the remote, and then it kind of went back to the beginning. And then I went back to the spot, and I kind of skipped through his dialogue.
Yeah.
And I was joking, and I was like, well, maybe they're going to say something that will, be like a spoiler or kind of like a foreshadow for... No, nothing that they said actually
nothing
had to do with the plot or anything.
Not a single thing.
So then it cuts from there to Whoopi Goldberg walking down this alley, and she sees a dog. And like I said, this is probably the greatest moment of this movie.
Uh-huh.
She got to actually pet a dog, and she looks actually genuinely happy in this scene, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, because dogs make everything better for most people.
Oh, 100%.
You know, I hate people, but I love animals.
Yep. So then she runs into this little kid. Don't remember his name.
Tyrone, Taquan, Smallpox Randolph. He's at a stand or something. And
I'm looking his name up right now, and it's Sebastian, maybe?
Yeah, Sebastian. But he's like at a stand or something, and he's saying that, oh, my dad isn't here. He'll be back, though. You should meet him because, I don't know, I'm trying to set you two up because that makes sense.
Which was weird because when I first saw this movie, I thought that maybe that was his mom or something.
I thought so.
He had like a new stepdad or something.
Something weird, but he kept saying, "Oh, I want to set you," or meet my dad, meet my dad. That didn't happen. Then he kept saying, meet me at the playground," to a grown ass woman, which is just all weird dialogue. And eventually, she's just like, "Yeah, I might. That's okay. Goodbye."
Yeah, I don't really understand her like in this scene. Why? One, we don't know how they met. Two, usually 10-year-old kids aren't friends with 47-year-old actors. In this movie,
in
cops.
The movie, cops.
Yeah, cops.
Just like how normal, where they're just like, there's no actual like, hey, we're family. Hey, like, our friends are family. Our family are friends or something.
No, you don't get any of that.
It's literally just as weird. Hey, I know you. Oh, you know me. Hey, come to the playground. It's really freaking weird. But she hops in her patrol car or whatever the hell.
Yeah, and then they head to like this dinner, I guess. It's the commissioner's there, played by Shaft.
Yeah,
Shaft. Shaft is in this movie for some reason.
Damn right.
Damn right he's in this movie. As well as...
Discount Tim Robbins.
Yes, Discount Tim Robbins is there. But the main villain, Kane, I think his name is?
Of course, his name is Kane.
Eliza Kane.
My name
what
is
a name.
Kane.
I love the names in this movie, though, because Whoopi Goldberg is Katie Coltrane.
Awful name.
The other guy, Armin Mueller-Stahl, which, like I was saying, if any of you video gamers out there have played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, if I remember, he is in that. Or maybe he isn't. Maybe it is somebody else. Maybe
he is, maybe he isn't.
I don't know who's who half the time. No, I actually just looked it up, and he's not in that one. Mm-hmm. He's in the movie called The Game. Have you ever seen The Game?
No, but
Michael Douglas.
I think I just lost it.
Ah, good one. So there's it's somebody else in this film is also in Call of Duty. My mind's shifting and whatever.
It's okay. You're trying to find better things. I remember I played the first Call of Duty Black Ops really hardcore.
Yeah, that's a great game.
That one had Sam Worthington and some other actors in it. But the other ones I only played on multiplayer, so I don't know who was in what, and so I can't help you with that. Sorry.
But what I'm saying is that this actor probably didn't have a great career.
What you're saying is, even if they had a little career, it was definitely a lot better than starring Theodore Rex.
Theodore Rex, 100%.
Okay, yeah.
So then we have, Mr. Kane is kind of like the evil bad guy in this movie.
Yeah, for
There's
reasons.
a couple weird ones because you got Edge, who works. I'm just gonna call him Mr. Kane. I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll call him Eliza Kane. It's a weird name. So you have Edge, who's working for Eliza King. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry
for all those people out there.
Ruined it out there.
Yeah. Then you have Eliza Kane's personal assistant. So Eliza Kane is like this old, I guess, rich man, kind of like tycoon type. And then Dr. Veronica Shade, a.k.a. Juliet Landau, which I didn't look up, but I believe that's got to be Martin Landau's daughter. I believe. I don't really want to look up into this.
Looks like I'll have to.
Daughter of Martin Landau and Barbara Bain. There we go.
Barbara Bain.
Do you know who that is?
Yes, Barbara Bain was a very high mostly TV. I mean, I think she was in some movies, but mostly TV
Mission
actress.
Impossible?
Yep, 60s. That's where they met because they were on the same show. But yeah, she was good in that, and she was, like I said, most TV. I think I did see her in a few movies, but she was mostly TV. But yeah, Barbara Bain, and she's still alive too. Freaking Martin Landau, he lived to be in his mid-90s. She's actually
he was
still going.
Old.
So.
Okay, yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she just passed. Either way, the daughter being in this is a total travesty on both of their lives, and she should be ashamed of herself. Thank you.
So we have this weird dining party, and Eliza Kane is running it, whereas like we were talking about Martin Landau's daughter, Juliet Landau. She plays this like weird personal doctor to him.
Yeah.
I guess when you're really rich, you have your own personal doctor that follows you around to like
absolutely.
these weird parties
Why
and
wouldn't
stuff.
you?
I guess
I'd have a whole I mean, that's why look at like rappers and junk. They have a whole posse, man. They don't just like walk into a store by themselves. They got like 20 people with them.
Yeah, especially
So he's just evil.
Female doctor who's like in her 20s, I guess.
If you were some old crazy Arabian dude, wherever the hell he's from, wouldn't you not have a 20-year-old doctor just follow you around?
I would.
Right, exactly.
I would. So then we have, like we said, the discount Tim Robbins. I think his name is Alex Summers in this movie.
Alex, so generic.
That's what I'm saying. These names in this movie are just incredible. Like, they're like when you come up with a mock screenplay of like, oh, here's some ideas and here's Joe Schmo and all these names, but actually using Joe Schmo in your movie.
In there, here's bad, here's good. So here's the good guy name list, and here's the bad guy name list.
And so eventually, our boy Teddy runs into Liza Kane. Of course, has to meet the villain. That's a classic trope. It's always I meet you at. It's the James Bond thing where you meet him at a party or something. And
but sadly, it's not because I'd rather be watching James Bond.
That's true.
Any of them, even the bad ones.
Or like a Bruce Wayne kind of thing as well.
Yes,
a Batman thing. Where you run into your villain and you're talking to your villain and whatever. And he's basically saying, why are you here? Police business. We find out that Liza Kane was the guy who made Teddy.
Yeah, who
pretty much his father.
resurrected the dinosaurs.
Yeah. So he kind of had this like weird global startup thing where it's very similar to Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
where
he did the John Hammond thing.
Yeah. Liza Kane basically brings back these extinct creatures to life because we figure out early in the movie as well with Whoopi Goldberg and Sebastian is his name or whatever.
You mean the kid?
Yeah, he's sitting there like watching a hologram because it's the future.
Oh, yeah. Talking about bringing back the dead raccoon.
Raccoon.
Or the extinct raccoon.
Yes. So I guess Liza Kane's like whole motive is to just bring back all of these extinct animals, and I guess he says talks about something about making an ark.
Yeah, he continues to keep talking about making an ark, which obviously anyone who's either religious or knows about the Bible, the whole part was the ark was what Noah had to
for the flood.
Yeah, God told him that the great big flood was coming to flush everyone away and restart over. So he went and got 2 of every animal and people, a small group of people to reprocreate the reprocreate. Oh my God,
reprocreate.
But this movie is turning it's destroying me.
It's late. It's literally midnight. So
to procreate the world again. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's obviously what they were kind of going for, but they don't really explain it more. He just keeps talking about some arc they never show. He's just saying arc like he's got Tourette's.
Keeps saying that. And he eventually you'll see he has a rocket that is called New Eden, and that's where this place is. Instead of Jurassic Park, it's called the New Eden, which is
Garden of Eden.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of very similar hints to the Bible here for some reason. I really don't get it at all. So Elijah Kane obviously meets Teddy, and Teddy figures out that he made him and all this, and just weird kind of, questions as well. Like Kane's like, oh, why are you even here, Teddy? And he's like, police matters, police business, to get the results. Yeah. And that's what we're going to give him. We're going to give him the results. So
many results. Oh, my God.
That was a Samurai Cop reference for those that you don't know.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. So then, of course.
We have many references.
Many. I have a lot of shit on you.
God, I love that movie.
Oh, it's amazing.
Sorry, I'm actually going to start talking about a bad movie I do love.
Yes.
Let's forget about that.
It's all right. So Teddy and our main protagonist, Katie Coltrane, meet up. Whoopi and maybe this is their first scene together.
Well, remember Shaft and Tim Robbins they're like, ooh, if we let the dinosaur get his partner and do all this crap, then you're going to look good because interspecies, because this is where now we can talk about that. So the whole weird ass,
God.
like AC could point out, there's like some weird ass like racist thing. Kind of like it's like subtle, but it's not. But it's like there, but it isn't.
Okay, this is how I see it. It's racial, where it's like skin color, but it's also like IQ level, like retardation, as well as like I don't know what the last one would be, like sexual preference, because there's also like weird homophobic.
You could just
stuff in this.
That would just
But like,
that would all just fall underneath the prejudice then.
Yeah.
Just being prejudicial altogether.
100%, because it's like they keep referencing like the cops and everybody keep referencing Teddy as like a lower species and keeps talking to him down like he is like I said, like IQ, like he's literally like mentally challenged. They talk about him like he's like that. The homophobic thing as well, because it's like later in the film when we get to that weird club scene, gay club scene kind of thing. There's that as well, and she feels uncomfortable around him. Yeah. And then there's also like a weird racial thing as well, you know, that we get floating. But I think the more prominent thing that I noticed just reflecting on this movie is that weird kind of, I guess it would be more like mentally challenged kind of thing, because I get a weird
he's not
vibe.
A man. He's not a man.
Like he can't function and all this kind of, like, they don't say it, but they kind of hint that he can't like be his own cop, and you know,
it's just weird because it's never actually fully like touched upon enough to actually be like, oh, is that an actual theme? That's why I think it's just like they're kind of like, oh, let's kind of throw in a deeper theme about, you know, species problems and stuff, like, you know, like in certain, I don't know if you're not a big comic book guy, right?
No.
Like in the X-Men movies and Marvel, they
where they team up with each other, right?
Yeah. No, well, X-Men is about mutants and stuff.
No, I'm saying
they
like,
use that as a metaphor for like racism.
For race, yeah, that's what I'm
prejudice.
saying.
So like that works because it's prevalent in it, and the whole idea is between people who are mutants and who are not. So it's kind of like just like said in real life, where it's about, oh, you're different than me, so I hate you. So like that makes sense to use it. Like in this, I feel like there's kind of like, oh yeah, you know, we can kind of throw that in there because we got creatures, and you know, how would that really work with society? So we'll kind of have like a prejudice against them, not really, because it's kids, but it's like it's weird because the weird comments talking about like how he's not a man, he's not real, or you know, he's making and then they also do the phrasing where they call human. I was gonna say they call human beings soft skins. Yes. Which is really weird because I'm like, one, that's just a creepy thing to say. That is weird. Two, it's like obviously it's a slur. Yeah. Because the idea is soft skins are saying that because they're not dinosaurs, like, you know, with scales and stuff. But that means they're humans.
Well, yeah. On that topic, they also use the term speciest, like racist, but with species.
God, that's so stupid.
So it's a weird like social commentary and a family comedy
but
that should not be here. No, I'm saying like a mock, like a mock kind of social commentary, not a real one.
I can't even. Man, so much food. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even call it a mock one because I don't think they're even trying to like make fun of anything. Like I think they actually attempted thinking they could throw that in there and it would stick.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, because it just might as well either just went all the way 100% or just not done it at all. Yeah. No kids movie is gonna be like thinking
what
about.
What kids give a shit about this?
Nothing. That's what single. They just be like, "Oh, dinosaur."
I was thinking halfway through this, I thought, wait, this is for kids. Why? This dinosaur should be doing fucking cool stuff. He should be kicking ass. He should be doing all.
But no.
No, half of this movie is literally just like rambling dialogue that has no right in a family comedy.
And then him rambling about smacking his tail into everything because that's one of the biggest
he's
jokes.
Clumsy. Oh! Get it? He's got a big tail. He's a dinosaur.
Smacking into things.
Yep. And that's what the thing is where I said where the mentally challenged thing comes in, because it's not really mentally challenged in like physical mental disability. I'm talking about like they're making his mindset seem like he's like a 5 to 6 year old child because he loves cookies. He's incredibly clumsy.
Yeah.
You know, he can't be taken seriously, which I think...
He's incompetent is what you're saying.
Yes, I think that kind of caters to, like, the classic kid audience, because that's the classic, like, kids rule kind of thing, you know, where it's like kids at the end of the day, maybe they don't seem competent to adults and they're not mature, but they could still do like great things. And there's always, or they're called kid power movies, you know?
Yeah.
And I think Teddy is supposed to be like a kid throughout this movie, but I don't know. It just comes off really weird.
Yeah.
So I guess we should probably keep talking about the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I guess we have to at this point. So like we were saying, they team up, Whoopi Goldberg and Teddy, because it's this weird, it's almost like forced, they used to call it like forced diversity, where it's like you force a white kid and a black kid to hang out with each other.
Yeah, it's what's the buddy cop thing. It's
it's the same thing.
It's the forced Rush Hour, it's Lethal Weapon, it's every, stupid Oh, sorry, not stupid. Those were good. They were good because they were the first ones of their kind. So it's like, but once, a decade or two later, and you've got like 40 buddy cop movies, you're like,
this is a buddy cop movie. I just realized that.
It is.
It's a good cop, bad cop kind of movie.
It's literally a buddy cop movie, but it sucks. Big balls.
Yes, but like I was saying, it's like forcing two people that in society have been known to have differences, forcing them to be together so they can solve their differences, and that's where Whoopi comes in. And I think maybe that's first of all, the idea of Theodore Rex being an actual idea for a feature film is absolutely appalling. So I can understand why she would be reluctant to want to even
be involved with this,
to join this project at all. I totally get that at the end of the day, but I think that like having her kind of being a minority with a talking dinosaur probably wasn't something she wanted to get behind in general.
I would hope not, honestly.
Because I could see some kind of racist producer being like, oh yeah, black women are sassy and they're independent and she could be perfect for that role. Like, and Whoopi's just like, no, because Whoopi actually can be a great actress. She can be good in things, not good in action. She should never be in an action movie.
No, never think action movie. Here's Whoopi Goldberg.
No,
Whoopi Goldberg kicking ass.
No, never thought about it. If I ever meet her one day, I will ask her specifically about this film.
She'd probably slap you in the face and walk away.
She probably wouldn't remember it because of the amount of like Xanax and oxycodone that she was on.
No, I think that you can't bury those horrors that deep. You're gonna still hear the souls of the damned crying out for help.
Wake up with those PTSD nightmares.
Yeah, just like the beginning of the movie when Teddy wakes up, he's freaking out. That's Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
On some nights when she all of a sudden remembers being on the set and doing that movie.
Yeah, you said it best right there.
So the next series of scenes is them so-called working the case together, which is just an oddball.
While at the same time we're having this weird which is where we figure out that Zane is evil because they're kind of having that because we didn't know Zane was related to
Kane.
Oh, Zane. See, I don't care about this movie.
I know you're trying. It's okay.
All right.
Kane. Yes.
My apologies to the audience out there that are really listening hard enough that they care about, how I say this guy's name.
Yes.
Kane, we find meets up with Edge, who, like we said, God, this wig in this movie.
Yeah, you pointed that out because I was not looking close enough, but as soon as you pointed out, I see the line right at the top of his forehead, which means that they obviously slipped on a long ass wig for him.
You could get away with this in like a VHS release easily because old VHSs were like 360p, like very low res quality. A lot of them, you can get away with it very easily. When we have the DVD itself and we're watching it and it's upscaled to 1080p for no reason, which we not proud to say it, but yeah. We can see it. It literally looks like dried glue on his head. Like, remember when you were a kid and you would put glue on your hands, then peel it off and stuff? Yep. It literally looks like that along the top of it. And that's probably what they used, was some kind of glue to tape his head in.
Yeah.
So it's bad. And
he has these scenes with his henchman with the one eye, and it's so weird because they're talking about, like, oh, don't cause trouble. He keeps telling them don't cause trouble, and they do cause trouble. And he's like, I guess being evil, but he's not. But he laughs maniacally, so that means he's evil.
Spinner is his main henchman, Edge's main henchman, which is weird. So Edge's main henchman is Spinner, correct?
Yes, the one-eyed boy.
But then Kane's main henchman is Hedge.
Yes.
Hedge,
the hedgester.
So it's like this weird pyramid
pecking order
thing. Yeah. Yes. Why is this in this movie? Why can't there just be one henchman?
Well, remember earlier in the podcast about that whole aren't there levels of cops and different ranks? Well, where's that for the villains?
You assisted them writing this movie, I feel like. This came out.
What are you talking? You listen. You're always like I said. Oh, save the bad movies, save the whales. Campaign over here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is simple as this is how it is, though. I mean, think about how many freaking movies you watch with bad guys. There's not always just one henchman and that's it.
There's
true. Usually the bad guy, his top dude, and then he has a bunch of other hoodlums underneath him.
But what I'm saying is, Edge is essentially useless because
all
Edge does in this movie is kill Oliver Rex in the beginning of the film.
Yeah, that's it.
That is nothing. It. Yeah. Everything else that happens is either Spinner that keeps attacking T-Rex and anyone associated with Teddy.
Yes.
that whole part, as well as Whoopi Goldberg as well, keeps attacking both of them.
Right.
He's doing all the moves out there. Edge
Yeah.
is just kind of sitting back and chilling, looking
Right.
very villainous. And like you said, he looked like Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, he looked like a discount Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, or as I said, for Harry Potter fans out there, Malfoy's father. He has long silver hair in the movie, but in this movie, he has long. It's very similar.
Jacob Isaac's character you're talking about.
It might be, but yeah, he's just old and has long hair, and he looks literally like evil. Same look. I know it doesn't look like him, but I know in Last Action Hero, that one dude with like the rain slick trench coat. Remember that? That one
the
slasher dude. He kind of reminds me of him as well.
Fisherman or something.
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah, similar to that. I don't know, just like evil and villainous and whatever.
Okay.
So they're all meeting in this limo. They're going, they're talking about everything and all this kind of stuff, and they're just kind of saying, "Hey, we're evil. This is evil stuff that we're doing, and here's more evil stuff," and yada 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 yada.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they decide T-Rex and Whoopi to go to this natural history museum for some reason, which is where Teddy kind of describes, hey, we can feel each other. I can feel all these old bones. Just, no sex. No sex in this movie. And just keep saying,
Thank
God, dino sex? No, thank you. And going through this museum and all this. And in the back of the museum, for some reason, they're doing an autopsy on Oliver Rex.
Yeah, like really weird. Like there's just right next to like a giant skeleton, like just on its pedestal, just sitting there, and the woman's like not even paying attention. She's just sitting there, and then she said she's a dinosaurologist.
So if you're saying say I go to New York City and I go to one of the museums of natural history there, right, where they have like, mummies and all that. Do you think in the back they're gonna have some dude who just died that day? They're just gonna be dissecting him.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm in for a treat next time I go to New York.
You're definitely in a treat next time you go to New York right now.
I know.
Best part is to find out that you're actually in New York right this minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the city, though.
Oh, New York City. Oh, you said New York. I said, well, welcome to New York because you're in New York, pal.
No. Yeah. No. Some people call it New York. Like, especially people that aren't from
they always
the United States. They always just call it New York. They think New York is just the city.
Yeah, it's just one giant city that stretches across the entire state.
That'd be kind of weird, but... All right, let's get into this because we are 20 minutes into this movie.
You're going to have to give the condensed version, which is just stuff happens, this is what's going on.
And we get to this club.
Yeah.
We get to this really weird club scene right after they go to the museum because they find out, because they I guess they scan, like our fingerprints would be scanned by like the FBI or detectives and stuff to trace things in crime scenes. I guess they do that with tails because they said every
dinosaur's got the different scales or some bullshit. So he scanned his tail and said, "Oh, get back to me with the info."
Yep. So I guess we get to this part where just to rush through this fucking movie because I'm sick of this movie already.
I know you are. So am I.
They go to this weird club. It's like kind of like a drag queen club, kind of.
Yeah.
Because everyone's dressing up as well. You were saying it's called the Extinct Club.
Yeah, so it was like something the Extinct Club. Really stupid.
Really weird and odd, and I don't know. There's weird
singers there. There's dinosaur singers.
And then there's a girl who is definitely just the voice of a guy. I think it's Tina Rex or something.
Yeah, something. No.
Tiffany Rex.
Molly Rex is the singer. You're thinking
there's that, but then remember he runs it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like the server, but the server's like really effeminate. But as you pointed out, it's just obviously a guy. It's a guy doing really, a feminine, voice.
Flamboyant voice. Yes,
like mocking a gay person is really what you're. Mocking a gay guy is what it really is. Like exactly. Insulting.
Yeah, but like I said in this scene. I don't even know if I want to say it.
You go for it, man. You were the one who wanted to, go through with it.
It's like it's the classic feeling that Whoopi Goldberg has that obviously some white people have at like an all black cookout where they just feel awkward. They don't feel like they fit in there. They feel like I don't know.
I'm sorry, it's the way you said that when Whoopi Goldberg has that classic feeling. Is that a classic feeling?
No.
I never knew that was a classic feeling to be totally...
You know what? Anyway, I said this because listen, audience, we've recorded this 2 times already, and every time it just sounds wrong when I say it.
That was better, but I mean that classic feeling. I know that classic feeling, baby. when I'm Whoopi Goldberg at a dinosaur bar, I'm thinking about all of the black people I'm scared of. I know that classic Whoopi Goldberg feeling.
Oh my God, I'm just gonna retire from podcasting. But no, listen, okay?
I'm listening.
It's just that feeling of where you're in a place.
Classic feeling.
It's like you're taking like a really hardcore straight guy to like a gay bar, and he feels uncomfortable and awkward, and you know, like in general. Or it's like a black person hanging around with a bunch of fucking white people. We're weird as fuck, you know?
Speak for yourself, man. I'm a mixed breed.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Sorry, I'm a bastard.
Anyways,
tropical Mexican.
The whole premise of this, if you're still listening, by the way, if you have tuned off, you know,
it's okay.
I'm sorry.
That classic feeling.
That classic feeling of being the odd one out. Now let's move on from this, okay? Let's just keep going, okay? We have more Theodore Rex to talk about. He's dying over here, but I just I don't even know. Okay.
God, I'm back. Sorry.
This scene is ridiculous. It goes on for forever. There's like a 2.5-minute song for some reason.
Yeah, awful. God.
That Molly Rex just starts singing and walking around. It's weird. I don't know the whole premise behind it. There's also a dude who like tries to hit on Whoopi, like this like weird
dinosaur dude. You mean?
Dino dude with like huge teeth, and like walks up to Whoopi and just.
Like, hi.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, you're definitely not getting any," pretty much, and then
getting any. Like, I guess people and dinosaurs have sex in this universe because of the way they're talking. Like, there's like they're not saying
there would be some like interracial stuff like that.
Well, think about it.
Interspecies.
Interspecies. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because think about how they're handling it as they talk. It's not like a proven. Oh, we don't mix like that. But there's some really weird ass like. Back and forth banter when you really think about it. That kind of makes you think, is that going on in this weird ass universe?
Yeah.
Because these dinosaurs are wearing normal regular clothes and talking and, you know, acting very intelligent, and the fact that they keep mentioning this thing about Whoopi and her getting hit on by all these dinosaurs kind of makes me think the one that keeps smiling at her and Teddy is like, oh, he really likes you and he likes the soft skins, meaning that
that was weird.
That's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that might leave the door open for some really freaking weird stuff. You start thinking about it, that might have some like interspecies weird ass stuff going on.
That's what I was saying. Like maybe
world.
she doesn't tell anybody that she bangs dinosaurs. Like maybe she's not proud of it. But maybe she has banged a dinosaur. I don't know.
It's that classic feeling.
That classic feeling that you don't tell anybody that you have within you. All right, let's keep going, dude. We're only 30 minutes into this fucking movie, and I'm done, dude. I'm done. Scrooge.
Yeah.
All jokes aside.
Yeah. Serious.
All jokes aside.
Serious philosophical discussion.
What do you remember happening after the scene?
Well, the night scene.
Yes.
Sorry, the nightclub scene.
The cookout scene.
Yes, as you know, when we all have that classic feeling. So, what I remember was literally just a weird compilation of them continuing their investigation. Teddy getting accosted by Spinner and his gang of, I guess, like Swamp Thing, troglodyte, like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger looking idiot.
Weird things go. Well, it's Teddy, but then it switches because I remember Teddy goes, "Oh well, I have to go home with Molly Rex." Remember that whole scene?
Yeah, but I think that comes next. That's not the original. That's not the original night scene. I said the son of a bitch. The club scene. The very first Instinct club scene. That's when they meet her in the. They meet her in the back. Yeah, they meet her in the back room and ask her a few questions. They think that the dinosaur that was killed at the beginning was her husband. She's like, "Nah, that wasn't my husband." He's like, "Oh, so you're
great,
talking about dead."
Okay, you're talking about like after that initial first club scene. Then they go into Yeah.
Then they continue to go on their investigations and stuff, and that was when she's like, "Oh, just go home." And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem." And then that's when One-Eyed Jack and his Mighty Morphin Power Ranger rejects, go and terrorize him on skateboards.
I also said Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, Scooby-Doo. That's another one. Scooby-Doo.
Look like Scooby-Doo, like the villains at like the classic monsters in each episode and stuff. There's ones that look very similar. They have those glowing red eyes.
Uh-huh.
I know that there were masks at like Party City and those kind of stores back in the day that sold those masks where they have like the red beating eyes. And I don't know, like the see, that's the thing I don't get. There's classic henchmen, like you were saying, like classic, like Power Ranger. Were you saying Power Ranger?
Yeah, Power Ranger, because they had the stupid, I don't know if you remember them, they had the putties. They were called the putties.
Yes.
And they were just a disposable. They literally were just going as they were, they come and attack them.
Yep.
And, they never actually get hurt that badly. They would just get tossed around. That's kind of the same principle here. They were just, interchangeable swamp creature looking things.
Yeah, they have like ghillie suits or something for some reason.
For what reason? Nothing.
No
just probably because they had the stuff lying around, or they thought, hey, that they look cool, so let's just throw that on.
Then we get to that weird scene with like the medevac scene where like you were like, I wonder what actor they brought in for this scene, because it was like, it turned out to be nobody. The dude's name was Knife.
Yeah, it was Knife. She came in, walked. Whoopi spends the entire movie looking like she has a stick up her ass. Like, I think she's trying to look tough, or she's just, doing what the director wants.
Bad cop, doesn't play by the rules.
But she literally just walks like robot stiff the entire time. So, like, she just walks in to, like, get some info from her. I thought maybe it was an actor because he was in the dark and, like, whatever, poor bastard they dragged into this. But, yeah, he was nobody.
Yeah, he did.
But then she gets called by Rex as he's freaking out because he's getting attacked. She races to his rescue, and at some point he had doused his entire van thing with a fire hydrant, or a fire extinguisher, and it's all covered in foam.
I thought it was dino jizz.
Oh, wow. That would have made this movie a lot more interesting.
And then we get this, like, weird middle of the movie scene, which you see in so many other different movies, where it's, like, the other cops, in this instance, the classic Tim Robbins. You like that word? Yeah, I use classic right there. You didn't laugh at that one.
No.
But no, you got that,
show
like,
to finish.
that Tim Robbins kind of, what did you call him?
I said discount.
Generic?
No, I said discount Tim Robbins.
So you get him in it, and he's
Chinese knockoff Tim Robbins.
Yeah, he's kind of like laughing at the fact that Teddy and
Dimitri, or whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah, Katie Coltrane are a duo, I guess, but Commissioner kind of, I guess, sticks up for
our
them.
dino duo.
Yeah. That's a weird scene.
Well, they come in, they do the usual, oh, you guys have got nothing on this case, and they laugh, but they all laugh at some really weird, like, sitcom way, and as he walks off, like, the whole shot transition and the angles were freaking weird, but then he does the usual, a Shaft does the usual, oh, you got nothing, give me something, then, we're pulling the plug on this bullshit, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we've seen it in every other cop movie.
Every cop movie, literally, or cop TV show, too.
So then we get to this, like, odd part, I guess, where, like, he's got to go undercover, so he needs some cool clothes and stuff like
undercover.
that. Yeah, you're a fucking dinosaur.
Well, as AC pointed out numerous times, which I usually, he's always the gentle. He's the good cop, as we talked about. So I was actually surprised that this brought out the bad cop in him, because he was, like, so pissed that the idea of him being undercover, like, I'm talking about him being undercover when he's a giant fat dinosaur.
Yes, and the only dinosaur on this police force.
Yes.
So if you are going undercover, don't be the only species. The only one species in the entire police force,
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be like if there was a dog that was also a cop, and then the dog goes undercover. It's a dog, dude. I mean, you would know it's
that movie.
Yeah, it's called Top Dog. It's a Chuck Norris movie, which we will cover one day.
That's right.
We will cover one day. There's also a movie with Jim Belushi, I think. James.
Yeah, no, you're talking about Jim as in John Belushi's brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim Belushi did a movie with K9.
Awful. I saw that Turner and Hooch. That was one with Tom Hanks and the dog.
There's a lot of dog.
I didn't like that. I think that was stupid.
Why is there a lot of dog cop?
I don't know.
comedies?
It's just like, that's a good question, but I think the answer is simple as that. Probably, I don't know what the first one was. They did the first one. That kind of stuck with making some money. They're like, oh, let's just keep doing that, even though the idea of it is, like, absolutely stupid.
I think it was Turner and Hooch was probably the first one.
Because, like, dogs are used with police, outfits, but not in the, cute, lovable kind of way of, like, a comedy. It's literally, you got drugs, this dog's gonna rip your balls off.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a sad... I know we're diverting from the movie, but there's a sad...
No, let's do it.
There's a sad piece of trivia that I actually learned from K9, is that dog in that movie from K9 actually ended up getting killed it was an actual, like, police dog.
An actual police
and
dog.
It got killed in a drug raid or something like that by somebody. Yeah, so
that sucks.
Speaking of...
Way to go.
But speaking of Theodore Rex...
speaking of death, Theodore Rex.
He's going undercover, and he's trying on all these different clothes. And like we were saying, they're all just different ethnicities.
They're like all racist ethnicities.
There's the Spanish one. There's the Italian one. There's all of these different. There's a what is it? Like a not Swedish.
Sweet.
Swiss. Possibly. I don't remember. Like Groundskeeper Willie. What is he?
Oh, Scottish.
Scottish. I keep thinking
Swedish.
Swish. No, I was saying like
Swish.
Swish. Like Swiss.
Yeah, like
Swish chalet.
You just say swish. Like
you could tell how American I am from this podcast.
Yeah, like
today.
why are you saying swish? It's just like swish, swish, swish. You mean Swedish?
Yeah, no, not Swedish. Swiss.
Swiss.
It's like Switzerland. Swiss. Yeah, that's what I'm
SWISS.
Okay, Scottish.
Swiss.
Okay, so there's a Scottish one of them.
Well, that classic feeling when you mess up in ethnicities.
I would say, and then I guess he eventually decides on a hoodie and jeans because that's just a classic.
Like the ghetto. I guess
that's
the
classic.
Yeah, that's right. The classic look. Of what kind of people would you say, AC?
Oh, for
that classic. What's that classic look he settled on that kind of embodies a certain like percentage of people in this country
that would wear jeans,
baggy jeans.
All right, I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna keep moving on this.
That's crazy. You wouldn't want to explain that, huh?
No, I would say. How about this? I would say it's an undercover dinosaur cop.
Really?
That's what I would say.
I'd call that a cop out. Pun intended.
Wow. Okay.
So they undercover.
They go undercover, I guess. But I guess first, before they go undercover, they gotta introduce that kid from the beginning of the movie for some reason that's in this movie. Yeah, and they just play hockey for 5 or 10 minutes. For some reason,
yes,
and
a playground. And he said playground, but I just thought of it. It wasn't a playground. It was like a junkyard.
It was like it was like a parking lot of a junkyard.
And they were all like tattooed it up with like paint and stuff.
Because it's the future,
right?
Right. Their faces, they had these like weird like painted on tattoos and everything.
Right.
It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then we cut to one of my favorite scenes in the movie, where our boy Tim Robbins, if I remember correctly, is talking to the doctor, Martin Landau's daughter.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene?
I do.
And he is basically saying, I don't remember it correctly, but it's like something along the lines of like him wanting to get in on Kane's end of the world thing and everything like that. And then we find out that like, this is the worst piece of dialogue in the movie, and that's why I love it. She goes, I know, what do you have to offer to give us to be able to join in our, end of the world scenario or scheme or whatever, their plan to rule the world. And she goes, I can't even remember.
Are you having a stroke?
Something's going on, a brain problem, brain fart.
That classic brain problem.
I'm going to keep saying that till the end of this podcast is over. But yeah, our boy Tim Robbins basically says, I have big feet.
Yeah.
You know that classic.
Yes, I know that. I do.
It means you have big socks.
Right.
Did you know that?
I do. It also means that if you have a big truck, you're compensating for something you don't have.
Yes, and that's
exactly.
That's
the line of jokes that we're talking about here, which really, one, shouldn't be in this movie, and then two, shouldn't be in this movie.
Well, it's a family comedy.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Right. Well, actually, you know what? We can't be too harsh, because you know how many adult jokes are hidden in even the most, like, the childish of movies and TV shows?
Yeah.
But I guess it's more of the sense of how it's more creepy. That's how we'll put it like that.
It's more creepy, and in this movie, it's more like direct. Like we get because there's no context. A lot of the time, when they fit in those sexual innuendos, there's some kind of context, and it has a double meaning. It's like it makes
double
sense.
Entendre.
Yes, exactly. Whereas in this, it's so direct. Like, what would big feet help in an end of the world scheme? I don't get it at all.
You're talking about his big ass dick.
Yep, you had
his
to just
dino
say that.
dick.
Had to just say that. So everyone basically ends up getting kidnapped that's related to T-Rex.
Stupid.
For some reason, the kid gets taken. Molly gets taken. I think that's it. I guess.
Yep.
Teddy doesn't really have a lot of friends. It's kind of sad.
No, it's just a couple people. And remember, until in their quest to try to find everybody, they go to that weird ass, like corner.
It's a toy maker.
Yeah,
it's a toy maker place, right?
But yeah, it's the guy who's named the toy maker, but his factory or whatever has this weird ass cryogenically sealed dead people that are kept in the oxygen tanks. That if they ever get the technology, then they're gonna bring them back to life, which is some weird ass stuff.
Well, it's kind of like the whole Jurassic Park thing with like dinosaurs, which they do in this movie
With
as
people.
well. Yeah, but they're doing
it weirder
it
because
with
but I'm
people.
saying like it's a kids movie and you have this room. There's just a bunch of people that are like frozen in little little bottles.
Yeah.
And it's just a
Weird like
look.
oxygen canisters, as
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
And then they have the interaction with the freaking thing and
a
the
weird little puppet in a bag.
Yeah,
This
a
like
purse for no
weird
reason.
Muppet looking thing for no reason.
No
It has-
reason.
there's
Then-
no other puppets in this movie
Nope.
besides the dinosaurs,
Yeah.
obviously, but they're
Not human related. Everything
Yeah.
is dinosaur related. But that pops out weird ass shit. Then
a
butterfly.
caterpillar that
Yeah,
turns into a
right.
butterfly.
A really weird caterpillar that talks.
Which it kind of, I guess, ties up the whole thing with the butterfly from the beginning of the
Doesn't.
movie.
Not
I'm
at
just saying. Well, this is what I'm saying is we see a butterfly and there was a butterfly in the beginning of
So
the
it
movie.
just that means
That ties it
automatically
up
it's-
right there. You
Right.
see two butterflies in different
Yeah,
scenes in
that's
movies.
that's the classic tie up to
Because
it.
we really don't know why the butterfly. Because apparently it was the toy maker who we meet. This guy who was in
Right, this guy
couple
was
different
couple
movies.
different movies that I've seen. He's in Big Trouble in Little China. He's been, of course,
he's in
always
the Golden Child.
freaking token Asian guy who's always being
classic.
Asian. Which in this he's extremely Asian. Not only do you know he's Asian because he's Asian, but because he's wearing a kimono.
Yeah, I was gonna
his
say
hair
that.
is super samurai. It's like, oh, you got to know he's definitely Japanese.
He's like sitting on the floor too. I think.
Yeah, it's called
scene.
seiza. That's the formal sitting posture
Seiza,
of
yeah,
Japanese.
yeah.
So yeah, everything. Oh, he's definitely Japanese. Nothing else is Japanese. He's Japanese.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be like an arms dealer too. They're looking for guns. It's a weird ass interaction and talking, and
And then he like puts like
escapes.
a robot fly on the table real
He
quick.
escapes
and
and
it's
puts a little
beeping
fly.
and it blows up. And
Blows up the whole factory.
yep.
Like literally blows it up.
And
then
Teddy and
everybody's
Whoopi get out of there completely fine, and I guess.
I
So
guess.
let's just wrap up the end of the movie real quick. I don't even want to talk about the rest of this movie. Let's just wrap it up completely. Essentially, I guess Teddy and Whoopi confront. I was going to say Zane again. Kane confront Kane and decide, hey, you can't do this, and you can't make this new world order, and whatever. And basically, we find out that Molly Rex got frozen
Yep.
from him, and basically he wants to freeze Teddy as well.
Yeah, he wants to freeze everybody. This is his version of the arc. He's gonna freeze everybody, and then he's gonna blow up the Earth, and then restart over with his frozen army of dinosaurs and people. I guess.
Yeah, New World Order.
Dumbass.
That's all you got to say is 3 words. New World Order. That's all he wants to do is create this new reality and all. This
the
kind
basic,
of stuff.
the basic billionaire villain.
Yep.
You know,
We don't know.
cliche trope, and
We don't get his
most-
intentions because he literally brought dinosaurs back to life, and he seems like a nice guy to Teddy because he doesn't really do anything to Teddy.
Nope,
Kane is
that's
actually
what
a
it's-
nice guy to Teddy. You know?
No, it's literally just the cliche trope of I'm just so rich and powerful that I feel like the world needs to be cleansed, and
Yep.
it's gonna be cleansed because
he just
I can.
didn't. He didn't seem evil. He didn't. There was no. It was just basically a forced action upon.
Well,
him.
he did. He was again. Well, he was forced. Was like forced villainy until he actually became the villain by pulling out the gun and shooting everybody. Which
True.
the bullets in the entire movie never do anything.
Nope.
They're like Nerf guns, but they're actual real guns. But they shoot like bullets. I guess they do, but they're electric bullets. I mean, none of it ever is
Who knows?
clear.
The guns are sometimes the one pistol is really obnoxiously big, so it's
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
what I'm
cartoony.
saying. Like, it just
and-
continues going back and forth like an actual gun.
Yeah.
Gun, and then like a futuristic gun, but none of them shoot real bullets. That
And
they do.
Whoopi gets shot near the end of it during this kind of shootout, and she starts there's electricity going on her or something.
Yeah, that
she has a
doesn't
shield or
explain it.
something. We have no
Yep.
clue what's going on.
So
And so eventually,
missile gets launched, and then they're just like, oh well, let's stop that.
yep, and then they are getting away. Zane and Zane Kane, whatever the hell his name is. Old dude, he is with Edge, and they're driving away, and of course Teddy
Oh my God, yeah.
shoots this bended hook at them and pulls him out of his seat and forces him to turn.
Literally catches
just
the seat of
cartoony.
Zane
Yeah.
perfectly, and then, but even better is that sends the Jeep of Edge into just a billboard, just
Yeah.
a billboard,
Oh, yeah,
a plain billboard, nothing to it. It explodes immediately on impact. Like we're talking about like a paper thin billboard, and it explodes in a ball of fire, making no sense.
That's cartoony as well. Have you played the Simpsons Hit and Run video game?
No.
Well,
I
there's
play real hit and run. It's really fun.
yeah. I'm talking about video game. You know.
No, I like real life more.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
that,
anyways,
it's that classic feeling.
well, it's just classic like Grand Theft Auto where you ram your car into something and it just explodes. I guess that would happen with a car, but not a billboard.
Not like that. No,
Not
not
even.
like,
They
not
weren't even
that.
going that fast.
No, he literally just goes in the bill and it explodes
Yeah.
like nuclear explosion.
It was huge. So I guess Edge dies. So Teddy,
absolutely.
Teddy's got one kill under his.
That's
belt.
right, detective baby.
But what I don't understand is so when Teddy shot that thing conveniently at Kane and pulled him up into the tree, how did that distract Edge? I guess Edge was looking
No, it
back.
didn't distract him. It was like I guess just completely dumbfounded him on how to drive a vehicle without what's his name Zane doing it for him. I just did it, Zane. Kane.
Yeah, you're doing it now
Damn
too.
it.
So, and then the end of the film, like I said during it, we
It's
get
a rip
this
off Star Wars.
weird like ending of Star Wars where it's like, you know,
A
here's
ceremony.
here's
got
all
everyone
your
lined up.
Yep, here's all your medals. You did great. One of the quotes that Shaft says is like something about like you followed your dreams or something like
It's
that.
really cliched and just so unoriginal. I
Because
literally groaned. I groaned out loud.
Well, he just wanted to be a detective, and I guess that's what he ended up
He
becoming.
got his gold-plated shield.
Yeah. Even though he said and that was the one thing he said throughout the movies. He's not into violence. He doesn't want to do anything violent. First of all, if you're a cop,
Is he going to be violent? Well, actually, let's real quick because we want this over with. But he said he wasn't into violence. But two times he literally like is ready to rip someone's head off with his own teeth.
and he did. Well, I'm saying he killed Edge. So
No, I
there's
was,
one.
I was gonna say first. Remember, he was getting really angry at a few people.
Yeah.
And he was like literally ready to rip their head off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then we're talking about just
He was like
discussions.
growling like a
Yeah,
dog.
like he was gonna bite their head off, and then he definitely killed Edge. So he's already got a kill under his belt, more than a lot of non-violent, police officers. So good job. Teddy.
So we got good job, Teddy Rex. No sequel to this movie ever made.
well, yeah,
Thank God.
The ending as the ceremony's over, they're like, "Oh, you did so great! Everyone cheer, cheer, cheer!"
Oh yes.
And then Whoopi and Rex have that, that stupid cliche of like, "Oh, you all write my book, everything's fine."
And then the
And
cast
he's like,
it's
"Oh,
from-
I can choose anyone to be my partner now." And so I want the whole, "Oh, you're gonna be my partner now." And she's like,
Yep.
"Oh, do I have to?" And then literally just abruptly weird ass editing where they're like walking and it turns black behind
turns
them
black while
they're walking.
Yes,
Doesn't
yes.
make any sense. And then it says,
This is the start of a beautiful friendship, which is I think a Casablanca reference if I remember, but it's some kind of classic movie trope.
"Yeah,
Classic.
classic."
And yeah, because one thing we did notice when I watched this with my
Don't forget the end. No, don't forget the ending. What does it say at the
oh
end?
see ya.
Yeah.
It just says see ya.
See ya.
See ya. But when I was watching this with my friends, we noticed that too. If you can get your hands on a copy of Theodore Rex, all you got to do is watch that ending part because it's so really weird. Like the camera turns, and then like I guess a black screen like follows them or something like that.
Yeah, it's one of the weirdest transit I've seen. Like they're
Outros.
walking, talking, and literally it's black behind them, but that's not happening in the scene. They're just walking away from the ceremony.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. And
I don't
thank
get
the
it,
good
but
Lord
we're
on
done.
the credits.
And I own this movie now. I bought it for $4, and I don't think I will ever watch this once again. Right here it says read the Scholastic book, so I guess there was a book tie-in. I will try to find
God,
that.
I'm not surprised at all.
I would love to find this. This is a gem, and I think that maybe in like 20 years this will be worth something one day.
Yeah, okay.
But who knows?
could
Okay,
be-
Scrooge, can we just get this going? Tell me
Absolutely.
what's
My
up?
man,
What
it
are you
was
feeling?
Absolutely a 1.
Absolutely a 1.
Yeah.
The lowest rating.
Straight up. Of
You
our
would never
bad to the
watch
bone.
Theodore Rex again.
of our bad to the bone, bad to the fucking bone rating system. This is a 1, which is funny if we want to think about it. I'm pretty sure I've given every movie of the past like 3 or so podcasts a 1. it's been a while since I've actually seen an enjoyably bad movie with you.
Well, let's go
our
over
podcasting
it.
Stuff.
Going Overboard, I think that was a 1.
That was
for you.
definitely
that was
one,
definitely
for
one.
sure. Oh my god,
But
yeah.
Terror in Beverly Hills.
That was a 1.
It was. I thought it was a 1.5 for you.
That was for you.
Oh,
it was a
okay.
1 for me because it was
Okay.
garbage.
And Godzilla versus Biollante.
Okay, all right, the last 2. Okay, Godzilla vs. Biollante was 2 behind. That was before those ones. So then I would say of the last 2, which is Going Overboard, and the other one that was a 1. So this is my
Okay.
3rd one in a row of a number 1. But yeah, like stuff I can always get down. I can get down with stuff that is respectable to me, which is a lot of work goes into this. No matter how the movie turns out, you got people that put their blood, sweat, and tears into this product design and costumes, all this other crap. So I mean, I give them all the props. I'm sorry that they had to deal with being on such a shit movie, but like that stuff is cool. The practical stuff is cool because I always love being able to see real things. And like, especially as someone who likes to act and is an actor himself, I love the idea of being in an actual place where you can feel the world, see the world, as opposed to running into a green screen and whatever. But this movie's awful, and it's god awful. And literally, I would not watch more than a couple minutes if I wasn't doing a podcast with a guy who likes watching horrible movies, and I have something to make fun of it with, because if it wasn't for that, there's no way I'd watch this ever again.
I wouldn't recommend you to watch this. I wouldn't
recommend anyone to watch it. I don't think I even tell the people who are listening to us right now, if they're still with us, don't even watch it, because I think that's the point, is we do it for you so that way you don't have to suffer.
Yep.
I mean, if you really want to torture yourself, you really just want to tell yourself, you know what, this life isn't worth living anymore. Well, hey, buddy, I've got the thing for you.
See, it wasn't even fun, though. Like, we watch bad movies sometimes because there's fun parts in it.
Yes.
And it's goofy.
Yes.
Terror in Beverly Hills, there was goofy parts to it.
Yeah, even then I can say.
Killing
Absolutely.
American Style, goofy fun parts.
Absolutely.
There's all these different movies that we watch are fun. This movie is just flat out boring. I would personally give it a 1 as well. I was going to go 1.5, but I'll tell you this. This is why. Like I've said before, I love certain weird genres. Italian horror was the one.
Yep, number 1.
My second one that I don't talk about too frequently is 90s family films. Specifically in
That
the...
is such a weird genre to be so specific about.
Did
I know what you're talking about. It's just funny how you're like 90s family films.
I, for some reason, really enjoyed them. Disney made a lot of good ones.
Yeah, they did.
Some of my favorites are like Homeward Bound. Have you ever seen that?
I think you and I would connect more if I saw the covers of the VHSs, because right now, currently in my basement, we have a ton of VHSs that we either not got rid of or because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
I've got a ton of those. What the movies you're talking about? That is like Man of the House.
Yes.
Movies like that.
yeah.
Yes, those were part of my childhood. I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's one with Chevy Chase.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that is that one?
Yeah.
No, there's another one, though.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking
Jungle
about.
to Jungle or something?
I think that's the one we're talking about, Man in the House. Because if the cover is Chevy Chase with it pointing at a kid and he's like grabbing him by the tie.
it's Macaulay Culkin, I think, right?
No? It's the one kid from Home Improvement.
Oh, JTT.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I love those kind of goofy
Yeah.
family comedies. A lot of them, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like those.
Okay.
These are the movies that I love to watch. Three Ninjas is another one over there. I love
Trace Ninja.
these kind of movies are like classics to me because I watch these kind of movies when I'm sick. The weirdest thing ever. Okay,
Yeah.
I love to watch these kind of movies, family movies from the
Makes you
90s.
feel good.
Yeah, they're feel good. They're mindless. You don't have to think too much into them. They're
Yeah.
just goofy, fun. There's a lot of them that I'm not thinking of right off the bat. But one reason why I gave this a 1 is because I wanted this to be like one of those films that were just goofy and fun and
Yeah, you
didn't
get down with it, even if it's
Yeah,
totally stupid.
But this, I couldn't even get to that point in my mind where I thought it was mindless fun because it's not.
No, it's just mindless.
It's not. It's just painful to watch
Yeah.
this movie. I had almost no fun watching this movie. The beginning of the movie is kind of cool with some of the set pieces. There's some cool, like, weird kind of visual stuff that I think works in some regards.
Yeah.
But I think in totality, this whole movie, just totally avoid this movie.
Yes.
I think this is probably Whoopi Goldberg's worst movie. I don't really watch her frequently, but I think this is the
neither do
worst
I.
movie that she ever made. It's well known to be a really bad movie. Kind of a hidden gem. I haven't seen a lot of podcasts cover it, but
For good reason, obviously.
Yeah. But every time, like, I remember back in the day looking up, like, free movie sites, and this was always on them, like Tubi and all those. This was one of the straight classics that was among them, and I say avoid it. I say there's no fun in this to be had. Don't even bother. If you're still listening, because I know a lot of people just tuned out when they saw Theodore Rex on the title. I should just write in the title and just say classic movie.
That's right.
Don't even put Theodore Rex.
Don't even say that.
Yeah. So
all right,
no,
well, that's a double 1-1 for you and I.
So yeah, 100% avoid this movie. Yeah, it was a disappointment to me personally, but I mean to you. I mean, with a movie title like Theodore Rex, I think like you automatically know it's bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what you're in for.
I'm the good guy, as you said, save the movies kind of guy who wants to,
unify everybody. Oh, everything's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we can make this and
yeah. World peace. Yes,
kumbaya.
yes.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Not today though.
No, not at all. Well, I'm gonna get out of here.
Who are you?
I'm AC.
I'm Scrooge.
And this is the Classic Podcast.
Wait, you didn't say it.
You said the Classic Podcast.
Oh, I don't have to say the actual title of the podcast.
I was going to say Classic Podcast, Real Bad Movies. You usually say we are real bad movies.
See, we're getting discombobulated. All right. My name is AC.
I'm Scrooge.
And this is the Classic Podcast called
Real Bad Movies. Sometimes when I hang out at barbecues, it's like those classic times that I feel like I'm being surrounded by like people, a certain kind of people that just I don't understand, like if we're coming from a different place and a different time, or maybe it's just a different place that we've been born, but it's like when you're just there and you're picking up the food and everybody's staring at you because